AFR On Demand is brought to you by Breck Golf. Try Beaver Creek today, just 20 minutes from downtown Baton Rouge in the Zachary area. They've got a PGA Tour driving range, a short game practice area, 30 to 40-yard practice shots. It's a great place to chip and putt and practice if you don't have time for a full round. Book your tee time today, golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride!
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. I'm Matt.
Hey, Will.
Hey, bud.
Paul O'Neill.
Chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Yes, sir. And Mr. Toby Tom Play. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. West Weeks in 15 minutes. Saints edge rusher Michael Heldman in 1 hour. Bernard Gooden in hour 3. We'll head up to Columbia, South Carolina in hour 3 to preview the South Carolina Gamecocks. We got a lot to do. Let us begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
We are keeping an eye on the skies. If you're driving around much of South Louisiana right now, you probably see how dark and ominous it is. Weather in the forecast here over the next 48 hours. So really throughout the rest of the evening, Thursday, all day Friday, and then Saturday morning. And then it looks like it'll be a pretty nice weekend afterwards. But LSU is set to play South Carolina in a 3-game series Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Friday feels like it's in jeopardy right now. So Michael Cobble from our news partners over at WBRZ reported earlier that LSU is considering a doubleheader on Saturday because of the projected inclement weather on Friday in Baton Rouge. Now, they'll make a decision. They will not make a decision until tomorrow, until Friday. So we'll wait to see what may come of that. That may actually end up really playing well in LSU's favor. If Casan Evans is unavailable this weekend, and we'll get to an update from Jay Johnson in just a moment, but if Casan Evans is unavailable, then William Schmidt becomes your first starter. Again, like I think we said it a day ago, LSU needs to sweep this weekend. You can't sweep if you don't win game one. Your best bullet in game one is going to be William Schmidt, so you're going to throw him. If you play a doubleheader on Saturday, well, then William Schmidt gets to go on his regular rest. So in theory, that's an advantage. And look, this is a South Carolina team that in conference play is hitting .211. They average about 4 runs a game in league play. They're just not very good. Now, neither are you. Playing better, I think, though, with some of the young guys out there. You know, it feels like you've gone through the worst of it already. Desperately needing an SEC win to snap this 9-game SEC losing streak. But it would be great if I don't see it'd be great if Friday's postponed, but it kind of would play into LSU's favor. Now, you'd have to play 18 on Saturday, but and that means whatever bullpen arm you might use in game one, you wouldn't be able to use in game two, as if you went from Friday to Saturday and you had a short outing Friday and then maybe a short outing Saturday. But in any event, it would eliminate the back-to-back opportunity in games one and games two. But in theory, it would give you a better opportunity to win game one with William Schmidt on the bump on full rest. By the way, Jay Johnson met with reporters on Thursday and did give an update on Casan Evans.
Yeah, should throw today. Doesn't mean that he's going to throw this weekend, though. We'll do that responsibly. And he's fine. There's nothing wrong in terms of structure at all, which is great. And but still, that means he hasn't thrown in 6 days. And so there's an arm conditioning element that we have to be responsible to. So today and even tomorrow, obviously won't pitch in the game tomorrow, but would not rule him out for later in the weekend. But that wouldn't say would rule him in either.
it's one of those things that we probably don't talk about a lot because it's generally just not relevant talking about is a pitcher's arm care routine throughout the week. But guys, it's not like Evans would pitch on Friday and then wouldn't touch a baseball again. I mean, he will go open it up and throw bullpens and give, sort of like a recovery throw and then a max effort bullpen. And it's sort of that whole process of getting ready for a start throughout the week. So you wouldn't just be shut down for 7 days and then go pitch, full throttle. So Evans will throw today. We'll see if how he responds to that and if they have an opportunity to use him over the weekend, which, listen, we said the same thing about Cooper Moore whenever he dealt with that arm issue, and it looked like he might have the opportunity to pitch a couple of weeks ago. And before they made the decision to shut him down, we said, look, literally anything he gives you. If he gives you 3 outs, 1 inning from a bullpen that has been wholly unreliable, you take it. So anything, if Evans is able to go for you this weekend, even if it's a relief outing or just as an opener to get you 3 or 6 outs, you'll take whatever you can get from anyone at this point because you're in desperate need of all of it. The other updates, of course, are on John Pearson at third and Chris Stanfield in left, who were not available were still not available on Tuesday. Pearson with the hamstring. Stanfield feels like he's being held together right now with bubble gum and duct tape, man. He has just been really beat to hell this year. But here was the update on Pearson and Stanfield.
John did a little bit yesterday. Chris did not. So I know I actually had said it the other way around. I'm hopeful, obviously. But if not, scored 8, 8, and 12, with other guys in there.
Of course, in games 2 and 3, without those guys playing the young guys, you got an opportunity. It'd be interesting to see what they would do in left. You'd assume, obviously, William Patrick will be out there. Do you go back to the lineup of York at first and maybe Braun in the outfield? You could do that. Do you put Yaman in left? It's kind of a matter of where do you want to be. Do you want to be better defensively in the outfield? Well, Yaman in left field probably doesn't make you better. Patrick and Braun in the outfield probably makes you a better defensive outfield. If you stick York at first, you want the left-handed batter. There's all different things and scenarios that Jay's going to work through if these guys aren't available. But I would even submit that just having Pearson available, if he is available, makes you better because I'd rather Pearson at third than Tanner Reeves. Reeves had a nice game the other day in the midweek on Tuesday, which was great to see. He's a team guy, and Jay likes him a lot, and he stuck it out. He just hasn't been very effective. A guy barely hitting over 200 this season. So we'll see on Friday if, in fact, they get there. Or, again, if you get another day, if they do ultimately postpone Friday to Saturday, gives those guys an extra day to get healthy. So we'll keep an eye on it as we move closer. And if we do get an update on what the projection may be for Friday's game, we'll certainly pass it along to you. But chances are, look, we live in Louisiana, man. We've seen postponements. We've watched radars and weather maps and all different types of things, and they're going to wait, and things change. And so we're going to wait and see what it looks like Friday, and if it's trending like it's going to be a really nasty day in Baton Rouge and they don't feel like they're going to get it in. They're not. The worst thing they can do is start the game and then have to stop it. So hard to imagine that scenario unfolding. They'll make the call. Neither team wants to go run their Friday starter out there and have the game stopped, and then you burn those guys for the weekend. So they'll be responsible, and we'll see how it goes. As we have an update, we'll certainly pass it along to you. The softball game has already been moved up to 4 o'clock, so they're already adjusting for the weather. All right, it's after further review. We're glad to have you hanging out with us here. Show Open Every Day is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR, the official beer of your Fighting Tigers of LSU. If you're watching the Tigers out at the box this weekend or at Tiger Park, make sure you drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light. Maybe you're enjoying these final few days or weeks of crawfish season. As a matter of fact, last night, grabbed a few pounds of crawfish on the way home. Realized the fridge was empty, man. I drank all my ice cold Bud Light, so I usually go buy a case of it. I'll just keep a case in the fridge outside, and whenever I want one, I'll grab one. So I was out, so stopped in, grabbed some crawfish, grabbed a case of Bud Light, replenished it all, drank a few beers, ate some crawfish last night. Great way to spend the evening. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR, the official beer of your Fighting Tigers of LSU. All right, y'all, it's after further review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here on this Thursday edition presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Michael Heldman, undrafted free agent from Central Michigan, who signed with the Saints. He's going to be with us at the top of hour number 2, so about 50 minutes or so from right now. And then Bernard Gooden will be here as well. A day ago, We had the opportunity to talk to Tank Jacobian Guillory, his running mate there on the interior of the LSU defensive line this past season. Bernard Gooden, just one season in Baton Rouge, coming in from South Florida. Now he's a UDFA with the Cleveland Browns. We'll talk to Bernard Gooden coming up in at the bottom of hour number 2. So a lot to do. We'll knock out a quick break. We'll continue. West Weeks is going to join us on the other side of the break. LSU linebacker whose brothers remain with the program as he heads off to pro ball with the Indianapolis Colts. Excited about this convo with West Weeks. We'll do it next on AFR.
AFR.
Man, I got great news. I always love telling you about how Darren James on the Wall Street Journal's list the top 1% of realtors in America. Well, that's objective data. Well, Darren James was voted by you the best real estate team in Baton Rouge, the Silver Award status best real estate team in the Best of Baton Rouge Award. So either objective data or subjective opinion, you, the fan, vote. Darren James and his team stand above the rest. If you need to sell your home, you need the best. It's not just me saying it. It's quite literally you saying it in the Best of Baton Rouge. And it's basically all of you saying it by getting to the closing table with Darren more than any other realtor. So if you need to sell your home, you need the best. You need Darren James. Agent225.com. Agent225.com. You can always call Darren 335-7666. Agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
Well, I think for me today, that was a huge step for me because, I mean, I know a lot of teams, they see a white boy up here, they're like, oh, man, he can't run. So I'm glad I kind of got to put that narrative to sleep today and, just continuing to grow as a player and as a person.
That was West Weeks on his pro day. My guy was hauling, man. A 4.5 in the 40. He's headed up to Indy to join the Colts as an undrafted free agent. West Weeks good enough to join us for a couple of minutes. Yo, man, how are you?
I'm great. How about yourself?
Man, doing awesome. Did you think you were going to run sub 4.5?
I put obviously a lot of work into that those past 3 months, and my goal when I was got to the end of training, I was shooting for mid 4.5s, mid to low 4.5s. But it was one of those things, like when I got up in that line and then when I ran it, I knew it felt so good. I knew it had to be a good time. But then, when I saw that time, I was definitely excited.
So good, man. Hey, did the draft process is an interesting one, man. You never know what teams are thinking. They can tell you one thing, it might be a smokescreen. During the pre-draft process, did you feel a certain way, like you had a good rapport with any of the teams you talked to?
Oh, yeah, it is kind of one of those things where you're talking to a bunch of different teams. You're doing visits. You're doing all the Zoom calls, different stuff like that. And, you get a pretty good feeling of which teams feel interested in you. But, at the same time, there was a few teams that I thought were really interested in me and didn't end up being a part of the equation. So it is one of those things where you kind of just got to try to weed through all that and stick to your process as best as you can.
So were the Colts one of the teams you felt good about?
Yeah, I took a top 30 visit up there, so I felt good about them. I had a bunch of good meetings with them, stuff like that. So, I had a pretty good feeling about them going into it.
So walk me through the 3 days of the draft. Was there a point where maybe your phone rang or you thought like you might, like a team that you felt good about how to pick and you thought, hey, man, this could be me?
Yeah. No, yeah. So, for me, I knew I was going to be a day 3 guy, so once those later rounds started happening, I'd say about the 6th round, I started getting a few calls of teams just saying, like, hey, if you end up not getting drafted, we want to be a team on your radar and all that type of stuff. Or, hey, I'm going to contact you again in the 7th round. And there was a few teams there in the 7th round that I thought that it could be, but, they just ended up going in a different direction. But, man, I couldn't be more excited to get up to Indy.
You want to tell us any of the teams that you thought it might be?
Well, This might hurt a lot of people because, this one would have been cool, but it really came down between the Saints and the Colts. So it was.
No!
Yeah, I know. So I mean, but at the end of the day, it's a business, and you got to make the best decision for yourself. But I mean, yeah, it was definitely a crazy hour about after the draft.
So the Saints called.
Yeah, the Saints were pushing hard.
So so then why you said you did a top 30 to Indy, and Wes, I know our audience is familiar because we get to do these types of conversations every year after the draft, and I say it all the time, like it's a mad dash. Draft ends and it's like boom, you got to make a decision, right? Because teams are then on to the next guy if it's not you, whatever it may go. So I think people have heard us ask this. So walk me through then. All right, teams are calling, draft ends. At what point, how long did it take you to make the decision, all right, it's Indy, I'm going?
Yeah, so, I mean, after there was a few teams there in the 7th round that I thought, like, hey, if I get down to them, I could be going right here. And so after those teams had picked other dudes, that's when I got on the phone with my agent. I'm just talking to him. This is probably about with 15 picks left, so I didn't even get to see Nuss get drafted, any of that. I was on the phone with my agent. He's ringing in all these different types of guys, and, like, I'm trying to take as many notes as I can. And obviously my agent, he's real good, too, at kind of handling that whole process. And, yeah, that's kind of what it came down to. And, I mean, it's a crazy 45 minutes to an hour, and it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, you gotta make your decision quick because you never know. Another team could come in and swoop somebody up. So, yeah, you got to be quick with it.
West Weeks is our guest. Hey, you mentioned Nuss, man. Give me a reaction to that, if you would, West, seeing what happened there with Garrett.
Well, I mean, it's pretty obviously that he's going to be the biggest steal at the draft. And, I mean, personally, I think he's a first-round type of player. So a team being able to get him in the 7th round, and especially him, he's going to get to sit behind one of the best quarterbacks to ever play football. I mean, I think that's going to be a huge opportunity for him.
Yeah, man. Draft is wild. You go in thinking a certain thing, and it just so rarely does it ever play out like we think it's going to with what teams are thinking, man. Okay, so let's talk about Indy, man. Like you said, you did a top 30 with the Colts. Did you meet with the DC there? You know, Coach, it's Lou Anarumo who's the DC, right? Was it him? Was it position coach? Who did you meet with in Indy?
Oh yeah. So when I was on my visit up there, I mean, obviously I'm with a bunch of the people. I met with the linebacker coach. I'm meeting with the special teams coach. I'm meeting with strength coaches, all doing all the medical stuff. So I really feel like I got to meet a lot of people in the building up there on that visit.
What was your impression about what they told you? How they plan to use you and give you an opportunity to make the team?
Yeah, I mean, for me, obviously, I want to play Mike and Will up there, just making myself as valuable as I can. And then for me, obviously, a huge thing's going to be special teams. So, I mean, obviously, as a undrafted free agent guy, that's how you're going to make the team. And so my plan is to go up there and do everything I can to get on those special teams and do whatever I can to help the team.
How much? I'm trying to look up like your special team snap count. Like, what units did you play at LSU?
I played on all 4 of them. I mean, and I feel like I kind of have a head start on it too, because that's how I got on the field my first 2 years at LSU was through special teams. So I was a core 4 guy, and then obviously this last year with me having a bigger role on the defense, didn't do as much of the special teams, but I feel like I got a pretty good feeling for it all.
And here you go, including the 58 special team snaps you played at Virginia in 21. You played 454 career special team snaps. 454.
Yeah. So
yeah, man, I'd say you got a head start, man. That's a pretty good way to go. Hey, hey, look, I think we know for everybody, man, the season, the results this past year was a little bit of a bummer. Didn't go the way that everybody thought. Mm-hmm. Did you think about back on it, Wes, starting at Virginia, coming to LSU, getting to play with your 2 brothers? I mean, if I ask you, if you sort of just, recap or sort of, you think about your college career, how would you sort of encapsulate? How would you describe how it all went for you?
I would just say very unique, because for me, coming out of high school, I was getting recruited during COVID and all that, so I didn't really get to visit too many places. I had a really good relationship with the coaches up at UVA, that's kind of ultimately what led me up there. And then had a good freshman year up there, and then they got fired. And I always kind of knew in the back of my mind that I wanted to play SEC ball. And so after my freshman season, I started getting a few calls from teams, and that's ultimately what led me to enter the portal. And then, I mean, I come to Louisiana. I didn't know a single person here, and now it's like Louisiana is a second home to me. It's just everybody took me in with welcoming arms, and I really just couldn't be more thankful for this place.
Man, I know I had you in studio. You and Whit both came in studio with us before the season, and I asked you if your dad had any more Georgia gear anywhere, and y'all said no. That like it's been completely purged. I mean, now you're done, and look, and Whit and Zach are still hanging around. But like, at what point does David start to maybe work in like a red and black T-shirt or a cap? I mean, is that ever in the question again?
No, I don't think that's ever going to be in the picture room. And if you've seen his wardrobe, I mean, I don't know. I've seen a dude with more purple in their closet than my dad has. So yeah, he loves LSU, and he'll be a fan for the rest of his life.
Man, it is crazy. For those that don't know, of course, he played at Georgia, so it's wild. You know, he's had to do a total about face with all three sons wearing the purple and gold. Hey, before you go, let me get a thought. Obviously, Whit's coming back. You know, Zach, another year in the program, that linebacker room. Coach Kiffin coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a thought on what you think for the Tigers for 2026.
I mean, I think they're going to have a great season. I think Coach Kiffin is kind of that spark that LSU needs, and I think they're gonna have one heck of a season under them.
Yeah, man, it's exciting, you know. But off season, lots of talk, lots of reason for excitement. They'll tee it up and kick it off. We still got about 8 months to go. We'll fill the time somehow. West Weeks, hey man,
I can't wait to come out and be a fan in Death Valley for the first time. So I'm looking forward to that as well too.
Hey, the first thing you got to do is go make the team, though, dog. Go make a team, and then worry about being a fan in Death Valley on your open date, man.
Exactly.
Wes, we'll be pulling for you, man. Thanks for the time. Good luck. All right.
All right, yes, sir. Thank you for having me on.
It's our pleasure. That's former LSU linebacker West Weeks, now Colts linebacker West Weeks. He said it was down to the Saints and the Colts. Oh, man. He did not have to tell me that. That would have been really cool. Said Saints were pushing hard. It makes sense, right? I mean, you lose DeMario Davis in free agency. You bring in Caden Ellis, but you could certainly use depth. And one of the things we've consistently talked about with the Saints is they are trying to get younger and more affordable. And West Weeks is a dude that played a lot of football across 5 seasons. He signed in the COVID year, if you remember, but he was in the class of 21, right? So he was recruited in the COVID year. So his freshman year at UVA was 21, but he took a redshirt year in 2024. Remember where he was injured? He played in the minimum 4 after he had the injury in the middle of the season, so he could retain the extra year to play 25 with Whit and Zach. So he kind of intentionally delayed his professional career to have that opportunity this year. So wish him all the best, man. The Weeks brothers have been awesome, and excited to see Whit and Zach play this year. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service. ShawBillsTire.com, ShawBillsTire.com, with locations all over South Louisiana. You're never far from a Shaw Bills location, which means you're never far from amazing deals. Like, how about this? Up to $210 off Michelin tires. That's an $80 mail-in rebate from Michelin. You get free installation, which is a $130 value when you use your Shaw Bills credit card. I tell you all the time, get all the deets at the website or on social media. But the point is, they'll always do their best to combine the manufacturer's offer with their in-house offer to give you the best price possible on the best tires on the road. So, you want to buy tires? Well, nobody wants to buy tires. You need to buy tires? You need to go to Shaw Bills. ShawBillsTire.com, ShawBillsTire.com. Shaw Bills. We keep you rolling. All right, thanks for hanging out with us here today. We're going to knock out a break. We'll go around the SEC when we come back. By the way, Kirby Smart, there was a golf tournament or something that it takes place in Birmingham every year, and a lot of coaches and Sankey participates in it and all that stuff. So, and when they do that, it's almost like whenever Zurich has their Pro-Am Day or the Saints Hall of Fame Classic, and then current players go play. So it's an opportunity for a little media availability with some of those guys. And Kirby Smart was there and gave an interview and was talking a little bit. I think he was actually with Feinbaum. And he gave an interview and was talking a little bit about the future of the SEC championship game, which kind of contradicts what Greg Sankey said yesterday. I want to get into that. We'll do it. We'll go around the SEC. Don't you move. It's AFR.
AFR.
I always love telling you about River City's 1 Hour Air, but as much as I love telling you about River City's 1 Hour Air, I also love letting other people tell you about River City's 1 Hour Air because it's true. When you think about it, third-party validation can be so powerful. And at River City's 1 Hour Air, they have more than double the amount of 5-star Google reviews of the next closest competitor. So I always encourage you to log on, check out all the Google reviews. Who else encourages you? Encourages you to go read Google reviews. When you got thousands of them, more than double the amount of the next closest competitor, it's easy to send people to go check out Google reviews. Like this one from Glenn Rosas, who said, Darren, the technician, was very professional, very good at communicating with questions we had about biological growth. Job well done. It's River City's 1 Hour Air. Even questions about biological growth. 752-0001, 752-0001, 752-0001, whether they're always on time or you don't pay a dime.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
Go around the SEC in just a quick second. They had the Regions Tradition Pro-Am in Birmingham. Feinbaum goes and does a show there every year, and coaches and Greg Sankey are there. Sankey was there wearing a Digi Camo SEC hat, which is just weird. It's a choice. And look, and I'm a guy with a salmon shirt on and matching shoes. Shout out to Ruckus, though. I mean, check those things out right there. I mean, we got a little pink on the top, like salmon on the top. We like the little leopard dots. Yeah? Anybody? I'm alone in the world? Don't worry about it. We're good. Little fabric. We're good. Don't worry about it. No, we're good. Anyway, here was Greg Sankey talking about the future of the SEC championship game.
Remember the days of old when everybody talked about we need to determine champions on the field? Well, what do we do through the SEC championship game? We determine champions on the field. Now, you can do it another way. You could just say, we're not going to have a championship game, winning percentage, tiebreakers like we have co-champions reign, and then you'll have to determine your CFP qualifier. So one of the counters, we determine a champion on the field. The other perspective is we can determine a champion now that we play 9 games. The second is we do have contracts, and you don't just get to walk away from agreements. That happens in college football a lot. We see with individual decisions, but as an organization, we have a great relationship with the Atlanta Falcons, Mercedes-Benz Stadium, the city of Atlanta. And so those should not be just microphone moments for people to opine. We have to do the work to figure out if we were to vary from a conference championship game, what's the work that has to be done. And then thirdly, what we did as a league way back in the early 90s, we've made a movie about it. It airs on the SEC network. Everyone has followed. So the flippancy with just moving away, we need to tone that down and figure out how to manage the economics, the contracts, the competitive issues, and what that means for our own group of 16.
Okay, I don't think there's flippancy there at all, so I'll disagree with the commissioner. But what was also interesting is the 3 points that he made, he then made the counterpoint each time. He talked about crowning champions on the field. Yes, absolutely, you need to do that. And you can do that by playing a conference schedule with a predetermined set of evaluators to determine, and tiebreakers to determine who your champion is. Because the bottom line is, when we're talking about determining a champion on the field, we're talking about determining a national champion, which has never happened. Like in the NFL, you don't go have an NFC West championship game at the end of the regular season. That's stupid. You play a 17-game regular season, and based on record and a series of predetermined tiebreakers, you determine a division champion for seeding in the postseason where you determine a champion on the field. That's what we're talking about, so don't get it convoluted. Number 2, he talked about the contracts, which is, and the economics, which is absolutely the piece of this that has to be determined. They do have contracts with the city of Atlanta and with the venue and TV contracts and all that sort of stuff. But if you disband the game, then okay, I'm sure there's verbiage in there, whatever it may be. You play to a certain extent, and then the game goes away. It's going to happen. It's more the economics. We've done this in the past where you look at what the estimated economic impact is, and it's less than $10 million per year per school. So remember, the way that the finances work in the league is the 16 member institutions sign their grant and rights to the conference negotiates TV deals, and then all the money that comes in from TV deals, from the shares of the NCAA men's basketball tournament, the SEC championship football game, the baseball tournament, et cetera, all of the revenue goes in one big pot, and at the end of the year, they split it up 17 ways, and everybody gets an equal share. The 16 schools, and then the league office gets a share. That's how they divvy up the money. So the SEC championship game, it's estimated, brings in, I believe, I don't have it right in front of me, I think it's about $8 million a year per school. So in an era where everyone's looking for ways to generate more revenue, the thought is, well, doing away with something that's a very sincere revenue generator doesn't make a lot of sense, except that in so doing, it allows you to expand the college football playoff, which will be an even bigger revenue generator, but not just for the SEC, for all of college football. And that's where you start to lose the imbalance which you seek. Like, you want advantages, right? If you're the SEC, you want your conference championship game to be a massive financial boon, and you don't want the ACC championship game to be any good because then your schools get more money. You want to create that disparity. You have more money to spend on your roster, your coaches, or facilities. You get it. So, and saying thirdly, they were the trendsetter back in 1992 and starting the conference championship game with Roy Kramer. That's true. They were the trendsetter back in 1992, and everyone else followed suit. But the entire world has changed since 1992. The entire world has changed since 2021 when NIL went live. So to try to view college football in a 2026 prism through a 1992 prism is just a fool's errand. So Greg Sankey's a very smart man. He knows what he's doing. He knows what everyone is going to say in the counter-argument. But the bottom line is, this is all about the competitive balance and the finances. And the competitive balance is disrupted with this conference championship game. But if it goes away, then you are taking a financial hit. So you've got to make it up on the other side, which is in the college football playoff, which is why we're headed for, inevitably, a 24-team college football playoff. Like, the world is melting. The college basketball world is melting today because they're adding 8 teams to the NCAA tournament. Like, this is the easiest thing in the world to understand why they're doing it. Adding 8 teams adds 4 more games. That's 4 more TV windows. That's 4 more TV windows to sell to your TV partners. This isn't hard. Those teams aren't going to win a championship. It doesn't matter. It's all about adding more inventory in an era where everybody needs to make more money. This isn't about competitive nature. It's not balance. It's not about getting team 69, 70, 71 in the bubble. It's nothing to do with that. It's about adding 4 more TV windows. That's it, period. So on the play-in Tuesday, you'll have 4 more games. Okay, that's what it is. And you can watch or you cannot watch, but it's going to increase the value of the TV contract. That's why they're doing it. And ultimately, it's why they're going to expand the college football playoff. And when they do that, they'll make enough money to justify doing away with the conference championship games, which is where we're heading. By the way, while Greg Sankey is sort of stumping for the game here, or at least saying pump the brakes on it, Kirby Smart is arguing the counterpoint.
I love the game. I'm an enthusiast. I love the game. If we can get our season over and the national championship done earlier by way of removing that game, I think I could find a way to support that. But I also think you just had Greg Sankey up here, and he would argue that game funds a lot, puts a lot of money into our programs. And you're turning down money in an era when money is tight in a lot of the athletic departments.
It is strictly a financial decision. And when they work out the money, they'll do away with the game, and they'll expand the college football playoff. It's why all the people who never wanted to move away from the BCS ultimately became okay with going to 4 because they saw the money. And why going to 4 went to 12 because they saw the money. And why going from 12 to 16 or 24, whatever it'll be, because they're going to see the money and it's going to make sense. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Parish Restoration, parishrestoration.com, parishrestoration.com. Kill mold, remove odor, other harmful pathogens. Odor as well. Maybe you have odor from smoke. Maybe you bought a home where the previous owner had pets and there's pet odor. Maybe it's sweat. Maybe you own a workout or facility or gym facility, and so you have that awful, like, musty sweat odor. Then come in, spray, let the fog dwell. As soon as it dissipates, boom, smells brand new, clean smelling. It's Parish Restoration. Check them out online. Fill out the form on the homepage. They'll give you that free estimate, parishrestoration.com. It's mold remediation done right the first time, but not just mold. It's other harmful pathogens and odor. Parishrestoration.com. Okay, do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference. The Alabama Crimson Tide.
Kalen DeBose shared an update on running back E.J. Crowell. Speaking to the media at the Regions Tradition Pro-Am in Birmingham, said Crowell could be back to 100% in the near future. Says a June return is currently the timeline. 5-star recruit in the most recent class.
The South Carolina Gamecocks.
Malik Orson, who was previously at Southeast Missouri, has committed to the Gamecocks. Didn't kick in a game during his only season at SEMO. But as a senior in high school, he made 8 of 10 field goals with a long of 53. South Carolina does return sophomore Max Kelly.
The Georgia Bulldogs.
4-star cornerback Jerry Outhouse has decommitted from Georgia. He's gone from the penthouse to the outhouse. 6'1", 180 Outhouse, been committed to the Bulldogs since March the 6th, the number 109 overall player in the country.
The Kentucky Wildcats.
And Kentucky has flipped 4-star safety Marquise Bryant. He was a North Carolina safety commit. He is now a Kentucky Wildcats safety commit. Top 300 player for the 2027 cycle. He's the 12th commit for the Wildcats. All right, there you have it. That is Around the SEC. Thursday shows are presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. It's not just healthcare, it's healthcare for your lifestyle. DecisionCriticalBR.com. DecisionCriticalBR.com. But don't be fooled by the website. They service the entire state of Louisiana and now have a location in Dallas. This is expertly trained concierge nursing in-home, in the hospital, with you at the doctor, post-op, whatever it may be. You need expert nursing care. You need Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Schedule that discovery call, DecisionCriticalBR.com. DecisionCriticalBR.com. All right, let me knock out a quick break. Wrap up hour number 1. A Saints undrafted free agent defensive end Michael Heldman in 15 minutes. You'll enjoy that convo. Stay here. It's AFR.
After further review.
You ever bake cookies and take them out of the oven too soon and if they're like mushy and not and gooey and it's just not right? Like they're undercooked. I wouldn't do that. It might be actually harmful. But then again, some people eat cookie dough, just raw cookie dough, and I don't think that hurts them. But let me not be beside the point here. So is it true when building a pool? Follow me here. I'm talking about Duplessis pools. So when you go shoot gunite, curing requirements are 21 days. It takes 21 days for concrete to cure. This is physics. This isn't different for different pool companies. It is the laws of physics. It takes 21 days for concrete to cure. So if you accelerate the process and move on to the next step too soon, then the product isn't going to last. It's like the gooey cookie that you didn't like bake all the way. At Duplessis Pools, they never rush the process. They take the time to do it right. That's why they offer a 10-year workmanship warranty. DuplessisBuilders.net.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at DecisionCriticalBR.com.
Hey, by the way, today's the last day to participate in our Dreams Come True of Louisiana Radiothon, a non-traditional radiothon in the sense you used to be, you call the phone bank. We do everything digitally now online, so you can go to 1045ESPN.com. Today's the last day. If you're not familiar, Dreams Come True of Louisiana, amazing local organization. Miss Becky does awesome work. We've been partnered with them for a decade and a half maybe, but they make dreams come true for children with life-threatening or terminal illnesses, and they're an amazing organization. We have so much love and admiration and respect for them and the partnership that we've had for a lot of years. And this is an opportunity to help kids in our state. All of the money stays in Louisiana. So anything you can give is awesome. It takes about $5,000 to grant the average dream for a dream child. So anything you can give would be awesome. And we have some great sponsors as well who have pitched in. You can see all that at 1045ESPN.com. if you'd like to donate. Please do so. Be generous, whatever you can give. We know there's a lot of amazing causes that people are often asked to give to, and there's so many worthy causes, but few things better than giving to organizations that help children. So if you can, please do so. Be generous. 1045ESPN.com. Today's the last day of the Dreams Come True Radiothon. This is it was interesting. We spent the last segment talking, we did around the SEC, but talked about the future of the SEC championship game and how really the future of that game is it's rooted in finances. I mean, whenever the college football playoff expands, when they figure out the money and the TV deal and expand the college football playoff, but in so doing necessitate doing away with the conference championship game to free up that weekend to have an expanded playoff, they'll do it, and the money will make sense, and they'll do away with the game, and it's what should happen. It's interesting because one of the things you've heard me say quite a bit recently is everyone is looking for new revenue streams in this era. It is no longer sustainable when, in an instant, every team now has a $20 million, from one year to the next, you have an instant $20 million annual line item in revenue share. Businesses aren't built to just, boom, have a new $20 million line item one year to the next. So they're all looking for new revenue streams. Everybody. It's interesting because Duke now, I don't know if you saw this story, but Duke has partnered with Amazon to televise 3 marquee non-conference basketball games. So Duke had to work with the ACC and with ESPN because of their television deal to negotiate these. Apparently Duke is going to offer some concessions with some of their games and stuff like that. But these are going to be neutral site, non-conference games, and 3 of them will be televised on Prime Video. And this will also work in conjunction as an NIL opportunity because the Duke student-athletes will be able to promote the game, and in so doing effectively are Prime Video ambassadors so they can make money from the Prime deal. So this is a way that Duke is generating new revenue to help pay their players. It's another example of a creative way to generate new revenue. And this is going to differentiate who wins and who loses in this new era. You may not like it, and that's okay. And you may be like me, and you're like, great, let these kids go make whatever, or young people go make whatever they can, however, whenever. Or you fall somewhere in between, whatever. But the bottom line is we all want to see our team win. Like if you're here and you love LSU, or I know there's a lot of people who listen and watch now from a lot of people from Ole Miss listen and watch now. Boy, I know y'all are out. Welcome. I know y'all are out there. But it doesn't matter who you cheer for. If you want your team to win, your school, whoever that is, has to find creative revenue opportunities. We've talked about plenty of them with LSU. The Woodside Energy jersey patches, Venture Global on the field. They had the NIL Gala this past weekend. But it's going to take going beyond just, continuing to knock on doors of the same boosters and donors and benefactors who've been generous for so long. You're going to have to be creative in the way you do this and look for new revenue streams. I mean, that's literally Clay Harris's job at LSU. He's the chief revenue officer. His job, they brought him in from Texas A&M. He's an LSU alum, but they brought him in from A&M, brought him home, Catholic High, by the way. Said, find us new revenue streams. That's Clay's job. And you see Duke here has done that with this deal with Amazon. So we'll see what LSU's got in the hopper and up their sleeve in the future. All right, it's after further review. SportsCenter's coming up. We're going to get you caught up on national headlines. Our Thursday shows are presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. It's not just healthcare, it's healthcare for your lifestyle. DecisionCriticalBR.com. DecisionCriticalBR.com. Call Blasian and the team over at Decision Critical. They're just awesome. Have that discovery call from bringing home a new baby to end-of-life care, hospice, post-op recovery. They can do IV therapy. I told you they've been in our home to do Drew's blood lab draw so we didn't have to bring him to an office. They're just the best. DecisionCriticalBR.com. DecisionCriticalBR.com. All right, quick break. SportsCenter will get you caught up on national headlines. Bernard Gooden in 35 minutes. When we come back after SportsCenter, Saints undrafted free agent Michael Heldman is here.
After further review.
We're brought to you by Our Lady of the Lake, championship health partner of LSU Athletics, OLOLRMC.com/LSU. Success takes a team and not just on the field. At FMOL Health, That team is more than 20,000 strong, delivering care across Louisiana and Mississippi as one connected, mission-driven health system. As a $5 billion health system with nationally recognized quality and not one but two exceptional workplace awards from Gallup, FMOL Health has built something people trust and continues to grow to meet the needs of the communities they serve. And when LSU needed a partner to care for its student-athletes, they chose Our Lady of the Lake as its championship health partner. That tells you everything that you need to know. FMOL Health, Our Lady of the Lake, and LSU. Together, we roar. Learn more. OLRMC.com/LSU.